morning. This morning's chapel lesson comes from the book of Mark, Mark 13, 1 through 8. So Mark's a pretty short book. So this is toward the end of Jesus' ministry, at least the recording that we get in Mark. Jesus and his friends had been in the temple most of the day. They'd been praying to God and talking to people, helping them to learn how to live God's way. As soon as they were going out of the temple, Andrew ran his hand along the big smooth stones in the wall of the temple. "Look at these huge stones, Jesus," he said. "How did they get them there? And look at how many buildings they made from such large stones." "Yes, I see them, Andrew," said Jesus. "But the time will come when even these big stones will be scattered all over the place, and there will be no more big buildings here, and the temple will be gone." That night, Jesus and his friends were resting under some olive trees, and Andrew was still thinking about what Jesus had told him. "What did you mean when you said all those big stones would be scattered and all the buildings would be gone?" Jesus smiled for a minute, and then he looked sad. The people who made the temple are very proud of it, and that's okay, because it is a beautiful building. The trouble is that some people think the buildings are more important than the people who come to the temple to pray. You see, God doesn't care very much about nice buildings. God really cares about people and how they live. "But when will that happen?" asked Andrew. "When will these buildings come tumbling down?" "You don't know, and I don't know," said Jesus. "But just remember that people are always more important than things." So that's a pretty big lesson that Jesus gives us. And it's also a really interesting thought because we put a lot of money into our buildings and the places that we worship in. Not everyone does, but a lot of places do. And that's wonderful because it's lovely to go to a beautiful building and be able to worship. Trinity has a lot of beautiful places, but what is most important is not the space. It's the people that come to the space and how we can serve those people that come to the space and how we can serve each other. And that is what Jesus is trying to tell the disciples. So it's a big, important lesson, and I hope that you all learn it a little bit more every day. I hope that you find a way to remember that people are more important than things this week. You'll have a great week.